Most people don't think twice about their front door. You walk in, toss your keys on the table, kick off your shoes, and move on with your day. But what if I told you that the space between your doorstep and your living room is doing more than just connecting rooms? What if it's quietly shaping your energy, your mood, and even your fortune? In countless homes, especially in fast-paced American households, this space is overlooked, cluttered, or chaotic. And that's exactly the problem. In Buddhist energy practice and feng shui, your front entrance is more than just a doorway. It's the mouth of your home's kai, its life force. Every time you cross it, energy is either entering with clarity and purpose or being scattered before it has a chance to settle. And if your home's energy is scattered, chances are so is your focus, your finances, and your emotional balance. This isn't just philosophy, it's practical. From the layout of your entryway to the objects placed near your door, small choices are creating big ripple effects in your daily life. And if you've been feeling stuck, drained, or like good luck keeps passing you by, you might want to stop blaming fate and start looking at what greets you when you walk in. Because sometimes fortune doesn't knock. It waits for an open, intentional door. Part 1. Your entrance shapes everything that follows. Walk into your home and pay attention to what hits you first. Is it a pile of shoes, unopened mail, yesterday's grocery bags, or an empty, echoing silence? Most people never think about this, but your entrance isn't just a space you pass through. It's the very first energy you meet when you return home, and that energy sets the tone for everything that follows. In feng shui and Buddhist mindfulness alike, the doorway is where your personal world meets the outside world, and how that transition happens can shape how you sleep, how you relate to others, how money flows in, and how stress lingers. In fact, you can think of your entryway like a lens. If it's cluttered, chaotic, or neglected, it distorts everything you see next. If it's clear, warm, and intentional, it brings life into focus. And this isn't just theory, it's lived experience. Think of the times you've walked into a hotel lobby or a friend's home and instantly felt calm, seen, or welcomed. That was no accident, it was design. Now compare that to coming home and feeling immediately tired, edgy, or withdrawn and not knowing why. The answer might not be emotional, it might be environmental. In American homes especially, entryways are often squeezed, overlooked, or treated like transition zones. But energy doesn't care about square footage, it responds to care, clarity, and presence. The shoes you toss, the things you dump, the way you never pause at the door, all of that sends a message. There's no space here, no pause, no breath. And when that message repeats daily, your entire home over time starts to echo it. You rush, you scroll, you forget where you place things, and you begin to live in reaction instead of intention. But the shift begins with one simple truth. The entrance is not the end of your commute. It's the beginning of your alignment. It's where you decide, consciously or not, how your home holds you. So ask yourself, what's the first thing your eyes land on when you walk in? How does it make you feel? What do you smell? What do you hear? What do you physically do? Do you stop? Do you breathe? Or do you barrel through? These small rituals matter. They either ground you or scatter you. And over time, they add up to either a home that heals or a space that drains. Your entrance doesn't need to be fancy. It doesn't need to be large. It just needs to be yours, with attention, intention, and a quiet message that says, "This is where I choose to reset." Because the truth is, how you enter your space becomes how you enter your life. And when you change what greets you at the door, you don't just shift your home, you shift everything that comes after it. Part 2. 3 mistakes that quietly push luck away. You could be doing everything right. Working hard, staying optimistic, manifesting abundance, but still feel like things never quite go your way. What if the problem isn't your mindset or your effort, but the unnoticed signals your home is sending out every single day? The truth is, the entrance to your home isn't just a physical threshold, it's an energetic filter. It either welcomes good energy or repels it. And too often, we unknowingly create blockages right at the front door. These aren't dramatic, obvious errors. They're quiet, consistent habits that seem harmless but send a message to the universe that you're not ready to receive. Let's break down the 3 most common mistakes people make that silently push luck, opportunity, and positive flow away. Mistake #1. A cluttered or neglected entryway. It might seem innocent. Shoes piled up, Amazon boxes waiting to be broken, coats hung over chairs, or random objects that don't have a place yet. But clutter isn't just mess, it's stagnant energy. The front door is considered the mouth of Kai in energy-based philosophies. It's where life force, wealth, and inspiration enter your space. When that pathway is blocked or choked with stuff, everything slows down. Imagine inviting someone important into your home and the first thing they see is disarray. They hesitate, question if they are welcome, and reconsider staying. The same goes for energy. A cluttered entrance signals that there's no room for anything new. Even worse, clutter tends to attract more clutter, creating a cycle of stagnation. The fix: strip it down, keep the space clear, intentional, and functional. One welcome mat, one calming scent, one place to set your keys. Let your entry say, "This is a space where flow happens." Mistake #2: darkness or poor lighting. Light is one of the simplest, most overlooked factors in creating a positive environment. A dim or poorly lit entryway, whether outside or inside, sends a subtle message. "I don't want to be seen, I'm not ready to receive." That might not be your conscious intention, but the energy reads it that way. Darkness at the door can feel uninviting, heavy, or even a little depressing. Think about how much more inviting a warm porch light feels compared to a dark, shadowy doorway. It's not about luxury, it's about safety, clarity, and openness. Lighting also affects your own nervous system. Bright, warm light activates the brain's sense of security and optimism. It literally changes how you feel when you come home. Swap out burnt-out bulbs, add a soft light fixture. Consider placing a lamp on an entryway table or using motion-activated lights outdoors. These changes tell the world and yourself, "I'm here, I'm open, I'm ready for good things." Mistake #3: dead plants, broken items, or forgotten corners. This one cuts deeper because it speaks to neglect. A dead plant near the entrance is more than a gardening issue. It's a symbol. It quietly broadcasts decay, lifelessness, and lack of care. The same goes for broken doorbells, cracked tiles, squeaky hinges, or corners that haven't been dusted in months. Each small sign of disrepair adds up to one loud message. This space isn't tended to. Energy doesn't move here. It's like trying to manifest abundance while ignoring the small leaks in your boat. Eventually you start sinking. The fix isn't expensive, it's presence. Water the plants or replace them. Fix what's broken, clean what's been forgotten. These simple acts of care say, "I'm in alignment with what I want." You wouldn't show up to a job interview in a stained shirt and expect to be taken seriously. Don't expect the energy of success to stick around when your space says otherwise. Together, these 3 mistakes form a pattern that blocks good things from entering your life. And because these habits are so common, they often go unexamined. But here's the deeper truth: luck isn't random, it's responsive. It flows where it's invited. It shows up where there's space, light, and care. When you change your entrance, you don't just change how others see your home, you change how energy sees you. You shift from pushing to receiving, from chasing to attracting. And in a world that's always rushing, that pause at the door may be the most powerful shift you make. This isn't superstition, it's not fluff, it's the subtle architecture of energy, one that successful people often follow without even realizing. Think about the homes of those you admire. They almost always start with intention, a welcoming scent, an organized space, a sense of arrival. That's not luck, that's alignment. So ask yourself, what quiet messages is your entrance sending? And more importantly, what messages do you want to send instead? Because once your entrance starts saying, "This is a place where good things happen," the universe starts listening. And luck stops walking past your door, it walks right in. Part 3. If energy can't settle, neither can your luck. If you've ever walked into a home and instantly felt uneasy, like your body couldn't quite relax, your shoulders didn't drop, or your breath stayed shallow, you've experienced what unsettled energy feels like. And if energy can't settle, neither can your luck. This is more than intuition, it's how the brain and body respond to environmental signals. When your entry space is in a state of emotional turbulence, too loud, too chaotic, too uncertain, it sets a nervous tone that affects everything else in your life. Your entrance isn't just a path you walk through, it's a mood setter. A cluttered, noisy, or overly busy entry makes your system stay alert, on edge, and closed off from flow. And when you're energetically closed, opportunities don't feel safe approaching. They move on. In American homes, especially open-concept ones, it's common for the front door to pour directly into the living space, right into the kitchen, dining, or entertainment area. While this might feel efficient, it creates a rapid shift in energy. There's no buffer, no pause, no transition. Life rushes in like a flood. This immediate exposure creates tension. Visitors feel like they're intruding. You feel like you're constantly on. The space doesn't hold you, it demands you perform. What's missing is what I call the emotional foyer, a place of arrival, not exposure. That could be a small bench, a mirror, a low light, a tray for your keys, anything that signals you've arrived, you're home, you can breathe now. It doesn't matter if you live in a studio or a sprawling house. What matters is whether your energy can land. Because if your energy is constantly rushing, always stepping straight from outside stress into inside stimulation, you'll always feel like you're catching up. And that restless energy repels luck. People often think luck is about timing, effort, or divine favor, but it's mostly about readiness. Luck lands where there's stillness, where there's space to grow. That doesn't mean your entrance needs to be silent or stiff. It means it needs rhythm, a sense of flow, like music with a downbeat, a moment that invites you to drop your guard and feel safe. One simple way to shift this is by softening the tone of your entry. Use texture like a rug with weight or curtains that sway. Use scent, a diffuser with lavender or cedarwood. Use light, warm, soft bulbs that glow instead of glare. These are small changes, but they speak volumes. They tell your nervous system, you can calm down now. And when your nervous system relaxes, so does your energy. And when your energy is grounded, luck finds a place to stay. You stop chasing opportunity and start receiving it. Because in the end, no amount of effort matters if your home says go when your soul is trying to rest. Luck can't settle where energy is scattered. But when your space begins with stillness, your life begins to flow. And everything you've been waiting for has a chance to arrive and stay. Part 4. Ancient cultures already understood this. They may not have used words like neuroscience or cortisol, but ancient cultures understood something we're only just beginning to relearn. The energy of your home, especially the way it enters, is not just symbolic. It's a living force that either invites or blocks your blessings. From the Egyptians to the Greeks, from indigenous tribes to Eastern monastics, every civilization developed rituals and structures that honored the threshold. The front entrance wasn't just a place to walk through, it was a sacred filter between the outside world and your inner peace. In ancient Rome, households placed small altars near the entrance to honor their lairs, protective spirits of the home. These weren't decorative statues, they were believed to hold real energetic power. Guests entering the home would pause, acknowledge the altar, and symbolically release the energy of the outside world. It was a gesture of humility, of reverence for the space they were entering. In traditional Japanese architecture, the Genkan entryway still holds this purpose. Shoes are removed there not just to keep the floors clean, but to draw a clear, energetic line. What I carried from the outside stops here. It's an act of energetic hygiene, and the result, a home that breathes peace. Many Native American tribes built sweat lodges with specific entryways facing cardinal directions, each aligned with spiritual meanings. The entrance wasn't arbitrary, it was a map of the soul's journey, reminding those who entered that they were stepping into transformation. The orientation of the doorway mattered, the intention behind it mattered, and that same care shaped how energy moved within. Even in ancient Vedic traditions, the placement of a home's entrance was considered paramount. North or east-facing entries were favored, believed to welcome in vital energies, what we now might call solar rhythm or circadian alignment. A blocked or misaligned door was thought to disturb the harmony of the entire home. And here's what's remarkable. These practices weren't just mystical, they were practical. They affected how people felt, how they behaved, and what they attracted. Thousands of years ago, without blueprints or brain scans, people understood that when your entry holds purpose, your life holds direction. Today, we often brush off these rituals as old customs or aesthetic quirks. But we miss what our ancestors knew. When the entrance to your home lacks soul, your life lacks center. When it's rushed, cluttered, or energetically forgotten, so is your path forward. The most successful, centered, and spiritually grounded people in history, from emperors to monks, treated their entry as a threshold of power, not wealth, not status, power. The kind that flows when your inner and outer worlds are aligned. So as we rush through modern life, craving clarity, peace, and good fortune, maybe we don't need another app or productivity hack. Maybe we just need to do what the ancients did. Pause at the door, breathe, and treat the entrance as the beginning of something sacred. Because they knew, and now we remember, what starts well flows well, and fortune always follows flow. Part 5. Simple shifts that change everything. Sometimes, the smallest shifts create the biggest ripples. When it comes to the energy of your home, you don't need a renovation budget or an interior designer. You need awareness and a willingness to care about what your space is quietly saying. Because your entrance doesn't speak with words, it speaks through what it holds, what it allows, and what it neglects. The good news, just a few simple, intentional changes can dramatically shift how luck, peace, and opportunities flow into your life. Start by standing at your front door and truly looking. Not just glancing, but observing. Is it cluttered, dimly lit? Does it feel forgotten? Your doorway is the handshake between your inner world and the universe. If it feels neglected, so does your energy. Sweep away old leaves, wipe down the door, replace that faded doormat. These are not chores, they're energetic declarations that say, I'm ready, I'm paying attention. Next, consider adding a symbol of welcome. This doesn't have to be cultural or religious, just meaningful to you. A simple pot of fresh herbs, a smooth stone with an intention written underneath, or even a small light that glows warmly in the evening. These tiny additions create warmth and resonance. When your entrance feels like it's been loved, it invites love in return. Luck, opportunities, and even relationships respond to that vibration. Lighting is also more powerful than most people realize. A dark, shadowy entry sends a subconscious message of hesitation or fear, but a soft, glowing light says, this is a safe, alive space. Try adding a solar lantern, a motion light, or even a gentle sconce. The point isn't brightness, it's presence. Your space begins where the light begins, and then there's scent. If your entrance smells stale or musty, energy hesitates. But if there's a whiff of cedar, lemon, or lavender, the senses soften and tension dissolves. A small sachet of herbs, a natural diffuser, or even rubbing a slice of citrus on your doorframe can shift the feeling instantly. Perhaps most important of all is the feeling of pause. In many ancient cultures, thresholds were designed to slow people down, not just physically, but emotionally. When we barrel through the door while checking emails or juggling groceries, we carry that frantic energy into every room. But when you take a moment to pause, to breathe at your doorway, you reset. You reclaim your home as a space of purpose, not chaos. These shifts are deceptively simple, but they work because they redirect energy. They signal to the mind, the body, and the universe that you're no longer on autopilot. You're present, you're prepared, you're receptive, and when energy meets presence, change follows. Not in dramatic bursts, but in quiet, steady waves. A conversation that leads to a job offer, a sense of calm that wasn't there before, a friend who shows up at just the right time. You may not always be able to control what the world brings to your door, but you can absolutely control how it arrives. Start there, start simple, and watch everything shift. A clear entrance recalibrates your entire life. What we've explored in this video isn't about superstition or decorating tips, it's about alignment. About reclaiming the energy you live in every day and understanding that your front entrance is not just a place where the mail gets dropped or shoes get kicked off. It's where your life begins and where everything that follows takes its cue. If the beginning is rushed, neglected, or chaotic, that energy doesn't just stay at the door, it spreads. It lingers in the way you start your mornings, how you relate to people, how you feel about yourself when no one's watching. Science has already confirmed what ancient wisdom always knew. Our environment affects our mind. The layout of a space can raise or lower cortisol. The colors, smells, and lighting around us can trigger memories, emotions, even the way we breathe. But here's the part many people miss. Your entrance doesn't just affect visitors, it affects you. It sets the tone for how you arrive in your own life. And this is where the real opportunity lies, because you don't need money or miracles to shift your space. You need presence, you need attention, a clean threshold, a gentle light, a symbol of care. These are more than gestures, they are frequency tuners. They recalibrate your home to match the life you actually want to live. So if your days have felt heavy, your luck stagnant, or your inner compass lost, don't start with grand changes. Start where energy enters, start where you enter. The front door is where your energy meets the world. Clean it, light it, love it, and watch how everything else starts to move into place. Because once your entrance speaks the language of clarity, care, and calm, so will your life.